Today is the 2nd of December 2013. My name is Rosa Korowska and this interview is for the Ming-ai London Institute British Chinese Workforce Heritage Project. Okay. So can I begin by asking your name?
Yes, my name is Raymond Yip.
And where were you born?
In Hong Kong. I was born in Hong Kong.
And can you tell us a bit about your family?
Right. I got father, mother, and I got six brothers and three sisters. Yeah. We live in the new territories of the Tai Po market in Hong Kong. Right.
Wow. Mm. And so, where do you come in the order?
I'm the second. I'm the second. I got of the sisters, and then I'm the second. On the row. Yeah. Mm.
So you have a lot of younger siblings.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. And what work did your mother and father do?
My father. My mother, was a housewife, and my father, he I think when he was young, he's working, as a GP assistant, GP assistant, and he also run his own business, a grocery shop and also some construction company. Yeah, that's it. Right.
In Hong Kong?
In Hong Kong, of course, in Hong Kong, yeah. Mm.
And what education did you have?
I received, primary and secondary education in Hong Kong. And then I got the A-level GCSE, and then I moved to Canada to continue my studying. I was, studying economics and also business administrations there. So, and then after that, I moved to Belgium in 1980, and then I think I still studying the philosophy. And the continue studying over there for 2 or 3 years. That's it. And then I moved to London to work.
Mm.
That's it.
So why did you come to London in the first place?
Because when I was in Belgium, I think I've spent 17 years in Belgium, because I think it's 1997. My wife told me that because in Belgium, the language is limited because they speak Flemish and also the French. Maybe for the sake of the children, we better move go back to England, for the secondary education or for my children, and that's why we decided to move back. Yeah.
So what kind of philosophy did you study?
It's an ethic, ethical, ethical problem in dynamic ethic problem. I forgot now because it's philosophy of ethics in Leuven, University of Leuven. Yeah, I think that is for the personal interest, because at that time I was running my business, doing the working a catering service, open restaurants and takeaway shops. Strange, yeah.
In Belgium.
In Belgium, yeah.
So you had a catering business there?
Yeah. From 1980 to 1995. Between that period. Yeah.
And so then, when did you come to London?
1997.
And did you move to Haringey?
You mean no? I moved to East Ham. I think I live in my brother-in-law's house, for 1 year before I found a place, and then I've settled down, and then I have to move my family here, from Belgium, isn't it? I came here alone first to look for jobs and then.
So when did you move to Haringey?
I think when I got a job here, I moved to Haringey. 1998. At that time, I live in Palmer's Green. It's quite close to the Haringey, Palmer's Green, and until I think it's 2005, and then I moved to Haringey to live in the rented house in Haringey. and then I bought a house, in 2007, bought my own house until now.
And what's your impression of the borough here?
Oh, the borough here. Yeah, it's quite it's quite concentrated. I mean, the transportation is quite good, because it's quite close. I mean, you can see the Piccadilly line is quite close to the centrum. You see, and also it's quite, for me I think it's quite cheap. I mean, for the buying things, and then it's quite close between Turnpike Lane and also the Wood Green. All the shopping centres are concentrated together. It's quite a good area, but but before I think they have the robbery. I mean, it's not so it's good for the crime. It's not, but now it's better. Right? It's better. I'm quite satisfied with living this borough. Yeah.
So, what do you think of the borough in comparison with other boroughs?
You mean to compare with other boroughs? Probably because I get used to it. I think the transportation is good, right, and easy to go anywhere. So and also it's a diverse the community. They have different culture and a different variety. And it's the high street is so concentrated. Yeah, and then I think it's quite it's all right for me to live. Yeah.
And what jobs did you have before starting to work here?
Oh, when I finished, in my study in Canada, I think it's 1975. I got a job as a IT computer programmer at that time, and then until I think 1975 until 1979. And then in 1980, I moved to Belgium to run the business. Yeah, that's it. I spent 10 years in Toronto in Canada. After studying, I worked for a few years, and I moved to Europe because because at that time is you like to travel a lot. You like to go around. That's why. To explore your business or your profession.
And did you have any other jobs in London?
You mean
before?
Oh no, this is the first job, and also work until now. Yeah, I'm quite interesting. I love this job. This kind of job. That's why I've been working until now.
So, what attracted you to the job when you first saw it?
Because I couldn't experience it because I left Hong Kong in 1970. I went to Belgium and Canada. I traveled a lot. I found that overseas, Chinese, they have the kind of language problems. That's why when I found this job, I find that I think because I want to help people that's why I have to. I'm quite interesting to apply this job, and fortunately I got it. That's why. Yeah.
And what led to your decision to work here?
Because I think I'm familiar with this kind of community service. I've been working. I've been my past experience. I think I can work it. It's satisfied my job, and I can fulfill the job duties. So that's why I take the job. Yeah.
So how long have you been working at the centre?
Probably 1997 up to now, 16 years. 16 years.
And how long has the centre been established here?
The centre was established before I came to the job. I think it started from 1987. Officially started, at this address.
And do you know much about the circumstances when it was established?
At that time, they think a group of local residents here, they got a funding, and then they bought this address, this house, and then they started the running having a business and the Chinese center at that time. I just continue, and I think the shop just continue their services.
And what's the Chinese community like in Haringey?
The Chinese community, most of the people, I think most of the people are Cantonese. In the beginning of the last 10, before, 10 years ago. Because most of them are elder people now, becomes elder now, and they are in the catering service, in the restaurant business and that kind of things. And nowadays, in the last few years, and the more immigrants from the mainland China, it's more or less in half now. But the generation, the immigrants from mainland China is more younger generations migrate here. The older generation, with Cantonese speaking, and the older people, they are all retired right now.
What about the gender? Mainly men?
Or the genders, mostly, they coming to our center, mostly are the women, the gender, the females, most of them, more than 80% of the women, attending our center service.
So who else uses the services here? Children?
Yes, also the elder people, right? Yeah, and also the families, and also the children. We run a Chinese school. We hire the classroom in a local, middle school, in Parkville Academy, to carry on a Saturday, Chinese learning, for 2 hours, for every Saturday. We have about 100. This year we have, it's quite good. We have about 180, students, attending the Chinese school. To learn the community languages, the Chinese languages.
So you teach Cantonese?
Oh yes, we have both, Cantonese and also the Mandarins. But now I think 90% is the Mandarin now, because the Cantonese, we only have 2 classes, only a small group of people. Maybe after 1 or 2 years, we disappear, because the climate is that people are like learning Mandarin now. It's more important right now.
What other services does the centre provide?
We also provide, now normally we have the luncheon club running on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have a day center, running together at the same time, because they save our costs, And also we have the wide service from Monday to Friday, and then we run the Chinese school in Saturdays, and also the after school club in the Saturday afternoon after the school. And we also have a women's school on Wednesday to provide English class for them, and also other exercise walking group, and also some some karaoke training, and all kind of exercise training classes. That's the main services.
So how many users do you think you have for your services?
The users, quite a, mainly we have actively, we have about 700 families, and for the registration we have more than 2,000, 2,000 registration from other to local boroughs, the local borough, and also the surrounding boroughs. It depends on what kind of activities you provide. For instance, if you are doing, promote, outing service, the other boroughs, the members from other boroughs also come to join together. So, right.
And how do the users find out about the centre, and how do they get involved?
Oh yes, normally we do have our quarterly newsletters, for our members, and also most of them, I think the word of mouth, the people, from France. I mean, when they know us, when we have any activities, and then they will join together. They will come, for instance, Chinese New Year celebration or something, yeah. And all kind of activities, they know it so quick, because they have friends, around the whole London. Because most of them, they are not only joining our center, they also come to another center, different centers, in London. That's why they have easy to get all the informations, all things.
So it's quite common for people to join many centers.
Yes, it's quite often, especially the elder people, because they have a bus pass, free pass. They can go anywhere in London. They love to join worldwide. It's good, for them. They're alone. Normally, the younger generation will go to work while working, right? So they have, for the isolation, they go around to walk around and to join the center, come to this center this day today, and go to another center for tomorrow, and then that will be fine for them. This is good. It's good for their health. I think it's a mental health. That's fine. So it's a meeting place. Normally, the centers are meeting place for the elder people.
And have there been any changes in the type of people that come to the center?
Not really. But most of the people who come to the center with the elderly people, the elderly, they don't speak English, But nowadays, more families, because it's from the mainland, China, because they come for the advice, for the for the benefit of anything, because they don't speak English there. That's why they come there. And then otherwise, mainly it's for the elderly people. The younger generation, because they know the languages, they won't join us, That's right, yeah.
And according to the census in 2011, there was 3,800 Chinese people in residence in Haringey.
Yeah.
Do you think that's accurate according to the people you know? Or?
Yeah, you mean the 2011, right?
3,800 in Haringey.
Yeah, you mean the census in 2011? Yeah, I think it's quite accurate, because before, as far as we know it, because we have 2,000 something, 2,500, and now it's doubled. Yeah, because of the mainland China, or the younger generation, or younger family. Yeah, I think it's quite accurate. I mean, actively, living in Haringey. Yes.
So has the population changed a lot over the years?
I mean, for the language speaking thing, I think so. The older generation, they speak Cantonese, right? They still have the family here, but only the next generation move, to other boroughs, and the newly, the immigrant is from the mainland China. That's one. So they become Mandarin speaking, people. That's why we, the last few years, we come across many Mandarin, members who join us, and then to ask for why service mainly, and to join our Chinese. We can see that from our Chinese school, because the attendance, 95% are from the Mandarin speaking parents. Yeah.
So there's been a big increase in the number of Chinese.
That's right. Yeah.
And how has that affected how you deliver your services?
Oh, it's not affecting, because we only have we also have the Mandarin advice worker. Yeah, that's why you can solve the problem. And besides, normally we do speak some Mandarin, but because some that's why we're quite they are quite satisfied. Their needs. Yeah, we can solve the problem easily because that's right.
And what kind of help do you provide with legal matters, immigration, and benefits?
Oh, legal matters because it's quite because of the rules. I mean, because the regulations, we do not help on legal matters. We only refer them to the others center or other professional or the lawyers. And I mean, so we only do the benefits, and when the local benefits, if they are qualified, and then we try to apply for them, to fill in forms for them, and that's the benefit we can do.
And what's the relationship of the centre with the local police and the council?
The local council is quite close, because we all depends on funding, almost 60% right now. The funding come from them, the funding. And the police, we have a good relationship too, because the neighborhood, unit, because the police have the neighborhood, watching unit, and then they always come to us, and then to tell us all the information, to update our, all the client information to us. It's quite good. It comes probably 2 or 3 months at a time. If there's anything special, they will come. They come. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay.
Yeah. And has this relationship changed over the years? Because of the council funding. The council funding is more strict right now because of the deficit. And the changes into more personalization, and also the tendering service. So there will be the funding cut. It will be an issue. Here. So that's what do you mean by tendering?
Tendering means the council's services, they give it to, they open to all people. Those who have you can bid it. You're bidding the service. Because when you have so they will consider what kind of facilities or what kind of program you have. Then we may have a competitor. That competitor. Before they will provide a sort of a lump sum funding for the centers to run the business. To for overhead costs and also staff costs. And now it's different things. You have to more challenging things. You have to provide all the needs, and then also the outcome and the service provision is more difficult. And also the other competitor from other boroughs may join us. Be joined together, because just like the wide service. We our center provides a wide service. What about CAB? They have more powerful background. They have that kind of in the future. It is difficult. When they just join to bid the funding, they will win. They have a better opportunity than us. You see, we just have a small group. For the borough, for the Chinese. But for instance, for CAB, for other advisors, they have the whole community to look after all kind of or different languages. That's why you see that kind of things. And also personalization is, if your council are doing some service provided for yourself, you can choose. You may not join the art center service. You can buy your services, or you can from other places. That's why, it's changing. The category is changing. Funding.
You mentioned CAB?
CAB, CAB is the kind of. I just give you an example. We've got a wide service. CAB is, citizen, advice bureau, that kind of service, they're more professional. That's fine. When you compare with the application, funding application in a wide service, they have better chance than something like that. See,
so you see more Chinese users going to mainstream services like CAB?
No, definitely, because sometimes we got the service users, and because of the language problem, they always come back to us, because the language, they always come. But in the future, when they got the funding, they may employ, a Chinese worker. You see, in the future, something like that. That's right. But nowadays, the parents, the parents and also the users, they get used to our service, so they will come back to our service.
And how is the centre funded at the moment?
We have funded by mainly from Heritage councils. Mainly, we have the investment fund, and also the day centre funding. We also got a wide service funding three main funding, to keep survive. And also, the other funding, we have the school fees, but we have to pay all the expenses also. But still, we can break even right now. It's good. And also, we have to rent out, the premises to the other services such as acupuncture. We rent out, we just, they pay the rent, and then they kind of, for the to generate the incomes. That's right. Yeah.
And have there been many changes in the sources of funding?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, because the funding, because, as I said, because the council funding is more strict and is reducing, everything is cutting the funding. So we have to look for other funders. But the funder that, all the people, all other centers, they are apply for other funders. So it's more difficult. You have more competitors. This day more difficult to get funding from outsiders also. So we have to look for another funding sources. Just like if we try to find out maybe some Chinese interpreter in the other businessmen to come about to get more funding. Entrepreneur, the business, Chinese business, very wealthy, entrepreneur. We try that. Our management, we try to kind of other sources, so we cannot depend on the council funding futures, right? Because in order to keep survive or to provide different or new services, that's why we are approaching that, that trend.
So, how is that relationship with the local businesses? Is that a new relationship or?
Yes, it's a new relationship. That is a new relationship also. That's why our management committee, is looking for more opportunity, for the local businesses and also the other businesses. Just like in China, in the Chinatown, there's a businessmen. They may have get funding from the supermarket or anything. Yeah, they may think about some business entrepreneur from China or Hong Kong. That's other things. That's right. Yeah.
And has this affected the work that the centre does in any?
No, because the work is unique, right? The thing is that it's only the funding. If you have more funding, then we can create more job opportunity, more chances, more services or activities, for the users, that's why, of course, more funding, more better running, of course, more service provision. That is double proportion. So that is right. Yeah. So if we have less funding, then we have to cut the staff time, and also we have a kind of the service is limited. That's why. Yeah.
So the only change is in how the quantity, but the services would stay the same no matter the funding.
Yes, I mean the quality. I think will remain the same. I hope so. Yeah, that's just it. Yeah. We're trying to not to change anything or not to reduce our services. Of course, that's why we train up. Volunteer work. We tried all kinds of applying for other funding sources and try to get more volunteer instead of the work for the pay staff or something like that. That's what we hope for.
And do you think that the role of Chinese community centres has changed over the years?
I do think so, from my opinion. I think nowadays, because nowadays, before, the older generation, because they have the long hours of working in the catering service and business running just like Chinese restaurant or cafe or takeaway service, But then now the next generations, they receive education here, they more English, So that's why, that maybe they don't like to work in the same, the job as their parents, to running the long hours, the restaurant business. That's why. So that it's changing now. And besides, the elder generation, because they have children, when they don't understand or they receive any letters or any correspondence, and then their children, can help them sometimes. So in the future, I think the older generation, people will not, the centers will be diminishing. I think, but unless you have different new immigrants, because the new immigrants, because the language problem, so the new immigrants will need the centers to help. But after they settle down after a few years, 10 or 12 years, their children grow up, and they also then get help, to solve their own problems. Just like us, our parents, when they would come to us, we solve the problem for them. See, that's essentially in the future. That is what we say, the integrating into society. Yeah, because in before, especially in China, in Hong Kong, people they have less time, of education, because we are poor. But now, because of compulsory education, people have learned more, yes, they know more words and know more things, and they have most of them to know English. And I think the next generation, they don't need help from the Chinese center.
So do you think that Chinese community centres will start to close down, or will they find new things to do for the younger?
Yes, I think it'll be. It's not closing down. I think we have to find some art to change it because of the nowadays people live longer because of isolation. We try to develop more activities for them. You see, that is the gap here, because the next generation were busy with their work, and then the older generation will remain more isolated, especially. And the young, and nowadays people do not, the next generation, they have less children. For us, for my parents, they have more than 6 or 7. They didn't have the birth control. Now, because of the younger generation, they won't, have so many children, 1 or 2. So they're easy to manage them financially or anything, to look after them. So that's why. But the older generation, because of the longer age to live, because when they are getting older, then they still, we need to look after them, for the isolations, problem, and also the health problem sometimes, because when especially sometimes, the children were not living together, maybe something working abroad or something like that. Yeah, that's why we have to look after them. That's why they still need that services. Yeah. Right.
And what do you feel is the role of this centre in the Chinese community?
You mean the role? Oh yeah. For me, it's a meeting place. It is a meeting place of the Chinese people, especially those they have language problems, and also, right, and then also is a place for them that we offering the activities, something that they love to join together, because he trusts us, to provide this kind of service, because of the language problem, people they don't want to go to by themselves. That's why you still it's still I mean, for the older generation still live that, they need the centers.
So do most of the older people come from very close to here?
Yes, most of them. Most of them, yeah, they are living around. I mean, in Tottenham, and also yeah, quite close, here. Right, in this borough, yeah.
And do you think the role of community centres has changed over the years to now?
You mean for us, we still provide the same services, but right, becomes the less users right now. Yeah, I think because what I mean is that the younger generations will not come. So when the older generation still depends on the main center, yeah, I think it's less. And when you compare with the past years, the community center, the users, become less now. Even not only us, the other centers also. That's right.
And is that just for the elderly users, or is it for the women, the children? as well?
Yeah, I think it's for the elderly also. The younger generation, they still young. They can learn the languages, probably. So yeah, I think some even the families from the mainland China, they come in the first few years, and then they start to learn the languages. They start to to work in the community, and also they have children's grow up, and then they know the language. They solve their own problem. It become less to use our center service. That's why.
And for the women's group, is an increasing number of women using that service or decreasing or?
It's not decreasing because we have the housewife mainly, the women's group, and also they mainly sometimes they have different roles of them because they will come here when they are free. But sometimes, for instance, when they have a next generation, when they have their grandson, they have look after the grandchildren, they say in a certain period of time that they are not, they cannot come. So the number is still there, and also some newly immigrants, the younger generation will also come to join because have to learn the English first before they join the school, mainstream school. They just trying to get some pilots English first, and then sometimes but it's come and go.
So you have high turnover of users. You see them for a short time and then they move on.
Right. I mean but generally it's quite now. It's quite steadily, for a certain amount, certain people. The elder people, they are the same. It's the last few years. It's always say that is the only this group, only that the same group. The people coming.
And what significant events have there been in the history of this centre?
Oh yeah, we have a joint event with other organizations in this borough. I mean, it's a long time ago. I think sometimes in 2005 we have done that. We have the joint event in the Duckers Common. Just the park opposite the turnpike in there. It's quite a good day. And also recently we do have also one event in Irish Centre, the 2nd of November. It's a kind of we group together 9 organizations in Haringey, and then to promote our services and also our housing related services on the center on that day. It's quite a successful one. We have some different cultural performance for them, and then we introduce a different kind of service to introduce the bar. I mean the local people, to understand to our services and our existence, to raise our profile. It's quite successful recently. And also we have the joint event nowadays with the local residents. You can see the shutter, the art group shutter. They have to do the painting for us to make a more artistic, community. It's quite good. Yeah, so that's why. Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us a bit more about the circumstances around the painting of the shutters?
Oh yes, right. And I think it's last year, because it's a group of students, a group of students, the St. Martin's and art school students, and then they come with the Turnpike arts group. They are looking for a place, to a kind of exhibition or a joint event, So they found that we come to us and then we to make a joint event here and make a clay day, to do some on one Saturday. I forgot the date, instance, and then they make doing the clay work, with the whole families, to promote a family, harmony and also the utilities. Quite good, and then the local people can join, and some of the local people, they say, it's the first time they came inside the Chinese center because they don't know that. So that's why we try to have to develop or to organize more community events, not only the Chinese people, even the local people can join together. That is what we want to. One day, our Chinese people, get more integrating into the mainstream society. That's our aim, actually, because of the language barrier, they don't go outside to communicate with other people. But we want to break this one. We want to, that's why we bridge the service, that Heritage Council may not, provide. So try to, promote, and try to, to assist them to improve their quality of life and to integrate into society. That's our main thing.
And can you think of any particular times when, or in your time here, how successful do you think you've been in that aim of integration for your users?
Oh yeah, I can't say it's successful because the people, because the thing is, the language is a barrier, barrier for them. So we have to motivate them, to join the joint event. So we try to do, to encourage them, and it's working. I hope so. It's a little bit, because they get used to, to get your own group, right? Because the language. Otherwise, they're also friendly, but because the language, they can't communicate. The other people may seem that it seems that you only work with your own people, but actually the language, and that's why they don't want to communicate because of language. So when they join the other UN, the side UN, and then they know that they also friendly, and they
And what about the centre's engagement with other communities? Because Haringey has a lot of different communities from all over.
Oh yeah, yes. Because we normally have the meetings. We attend meetings between others. And normally something like sometimes Haringey Council organize a kind of all the meetings, and then we join together. We exchange our own opinions, and also we have some we join the half course. They kind of organize all the activities in the event. We attending the other boroughs information. Sometimes they also send us all the information by email now. I think in between attending meetings, council meetings, and other meeting, community center meeting, we know each other, and then kind of service provide. That's the way we communicate together each other.
And what's the community's relationship with other groups in Haringey, like in terms of the people themselves?
I think between you mean the people themselves, or we can see that from the joint event, only the joint event. So that's why we try to attend more joint events to make the people know each other. So that's the only way. Otherwise, we will only from all the community centers we join together, all the things, But you have to let the people, integrating together and then join together. We are trying.
Do you think that there's a kind of a friendly atmosphere towards the Chinese population in Haringey in terms of the local residents?
I think so. I think that we don't have any problem with them. The Chinese people, they are not aggressive, and they are so friendly. If some people leading them together, they will do it. There's something like that. Mainly it's because, as I said, my language, they don't approach by themselves. You see, because they don't want to approach things. That's what I think.
Yeah, language is a huge
barrier for them to stop them to do anything.
And do you hold celebrations here for the Chinese festivals?
We do. We have mainly we have a Chinese New Year celebration. and also the mid-autumn, and also the Christmas also. So also we do have the kind of activities, and not only the members from this borough, other boroughs members also come to join us. Yeah, and we also have the birthday parties, a quartered birthday party for the elderly people. For those who have a birthday, on a quarter, and then we have a day to celebrate the quarter thing, and it's four quarter, quarterly, birthday party for them. So,
And what kind of activities do you do for the festivals?
For the festival, now for instance, for some New Year parties, and we invite some VIPs, such as mayors, and also some councillors, and also some organizations, volunteer organizations, the leaders, and our members, and then we have some performance for them. Normally some line dance or Jewish cultural things, or folk dance or something, and also some performance from the children also. So just like in the beginning of this year, I think we have a music talents, from our Chinese school to try to promote into, the talent, the music talent for the children. It's a kind of thing,
And where do they take place?
Already, I think we ran a church. We hired a church in Highgate. Is it Highgate in Highgate? Because we can't find a higher place in local church. We have, because most importantly we must have a piano, and that church is called a piano. That's why we hire a place in the Highgate. And is it in the Northern Night? I mean the one next to it. It's in Eastington. It's close to Eastington. Yeah, that's right. So that's the only thing, because the people have to move to there. But at that day, I think it's February. At the end of January, it's quite attendance. We have about almost 200 attendance. It's quite good. We try to stimulate our students, music talent. So that's that time. So that's what we're
Okay. So now we're going to talk more about your working experience here. So what is your role at the community centre?
I'm the centre manager here. I'm the centre manager of the Heaven Gate Trial Centre. Yeah. Normally I have the frontline service, right? This is the frontline service. I have to to oversee all the services. I have to report it to we have MC meeting, management committee meeting every 6 weeks. I have to report them to them, and then also the supervision of all the staffs and something. That kind of thing. Attending meetings and responding the council funding and funders and that kind of thing. And also the payrolls and then especially.
So could you describe a typical day? Your hours and your main duties?
The hours? Normally it's 9:30 to 5:30, but around 6 hours. Work late, and also sometimes you have to work on Saturdays, and sometime in Sunday also when the events take place, right? But that's fine. It's all right.
And what made you want to work in the community sector?
You mean the majors? Right, yeah. What is that? Because I told you that because when I was in Canada, also the people don't speak English, and then we have to learn. We have to always hold them. Mainly is the correspondence. They find the correspondence, and then we have to explain it to them, translate it, interpret it for them. So because and also when I was in Belgium, I was running business in Belgium. It's the same. They also have the same problem, of the language problem, and also the rules, and also the the taxation things, they don't understand, and I try to explain it to them, and that's why we do the services on that one. That's why this is I find it is quite it's kind of satisfaction. Is that when you can help them, and he said that's it. and then that's solve the problems, and that's why. Yeah, it's quite. I don't know. I get used to it now. That's why I always help them, especially for the older people, because their knowledge and also the language, and sometimes if they don't understand, explain it to them, and then they are not so frustrated, and that is good. It's good. Hope so.
And what challenges do you face in your work here?
Oh, mainly is the funders, the funding, because the funding sources, I think, mainly we have to look for other fundings, because when the service, when the funding cut, because that's why we need to better funding to keep the staff alive, that's funding things, the other things, is just a routine, and be able to get used to solving the problems, and that will be all right. The funding, because we need funding, to survive. That's why you see. Otherwise, if we have funding, we don't have the staff to pay the staff, right? The warranties, is quite. Not so. Sometimes the warranty is not so stable. Sometimes when they are not, when they are free, that they will come, and then sometimes when they're not free, and then in the long run, we need funding stability, so to keep a service or keep activities, to run, more effectively.
So do you have a lot of volunteers?
Not many right now. Yeah, not many. Just a few, because that's why we have wanted to develop it, try.
And what are some difficulties facing community centres at the moment?
At the moment, it seems that that is the it's all right now. Yeah, it seems we have different services we can run, but same as I said, unstable the future funding that we run, that is what our management committee was faced to, But it's difficult to say, no one has the steady, the fundings, right? Or how can you do it? Because the funding are renewing, renewing in every 3 years, 2 years, and every year sometimes, and you have to really unstable future, the will. That's right. Before, the funding is for 3 years, and then they were quite stable, and then you have a planning or business plan for 3 years or something like that. But now it seems like it's renewing every year, and to see what your performance, your outcomes, and that's why it's more difficult right now.
So, what's the best thing about your job?
The best thing, just I said, kind of solving the problem, their problems, seeing the people are satisfied our services. That's right.
And what about the worst thing?
The worst things. Oh yes, the same things here sometimes. Because there's some restriction from the funding, that they sometimes other people, for instance, the local council, the funding is for the local residents, right? But the other boroughs, just like some Enfield, given the members from Enfield, that we cannot, help them. Is that right? Because they are not from the borough. The money is for the residents. If you can help them, you say, and then you should seeking the funding from the Enfield. But that's the thing, we cannot help them all because of the restriction of the funding restriction. That is what we are not happy with that. But we have to explain it to them because right? It seems that you can help them anywhere they can have the things, but they don't know because we still have the restriction from the funding criteria. What he's saying, that's why I'm not happy. Unless we have a non-restricted funding, and then we can. That's why we look for other funding sources, But even the other funders, you still have to restrict the criteria to meet, That's every funder is the same, I think. To meet the criteria. Yeah. Yeah. But But other people from other bars, we do try to explain to them. We try to help them the first time, and then we try and refer it to other center. But just like as we know, the CIAC, that company that's in China, and those centers they receive London-wide funding, and then we can signpost to them or can refer to them. That's good. Yeah. To provide them information, everything really.
Do you know if there is a community centre in Enfield?
No, they don't. There's no. So that's why I already asked from the residents. They try to organize Chinese centre over there, but you need some people to start, right? Something. Right.
And what's your attitude or your ethics towards work, and where do you think it came from?
Oh, and you mean the attitude? It mainly is from my when I was young. It's from my father. I think that kind of things. He likes to work. And help people. I can say that. He's quite happy. To helping people. I can see that. My mother is always complaining about it because as I said, we have a grocery shop, right? We opened a grocery shop. For the small supermarket at that time, at that period, and then when my father come to the shop, and he take out everything. When you see some friends or something, and he take, this for you, that's good. You see that my mother said, you have the course, always we didn't have anything, just a small shop, right? That's my father's always helping people, trying to help them with the money. Not even the reason you don't have a reason. That's kind of things, That is it. Another thing is when I was, I was studying, and I was working, because it's been 40 years I left Hong Kong, 1970, and then I found that, those older generation, they need help, they have long hours working in the catering service because, and I know that, that's why they. That's kind of attitude to helping people, helping the overseas Chinese, bearing this kind of thing. They need help. I hope in the future, the younger generation is good.
That they'll still help.
The younger generation, I don't think so because they know the language, they know how to solve the problem. They have no problem. Just like my children and also the younger generation, they won't come to the center. Yeah, that's it.
And is your job very busy, and how does that fit in with your personal life?
Oh yeah, my job, it's quite busy in a way, because it depends on the day. Because if it is a fun night, the telephone inquiry and the things, and something happens, it depends. Say our members can call anytime with any reasons, so that's why sometimes it's quite you have to solve the problem. Sometimes the phone calls are busy. Only when, especially Tuesday, Friday, Thursday, and Friday. But Monday we be more quiet because you only the advice service. There are no activities in the center. You're more easy. And now, that's it. But for I've been working in here 16 years now. I've get used to it. It's a part of my life. That's why. That's why.
So do you have much free time for recreation? Do you do anything?
Oh yes, we do. Sometimes no, just like the night time, I'm just watching TV and television, and also do some exercise, also home-based exercise. That kind of things. Yeah, some cooking. For instance, to try to I kind of yes, I can ask it. Sometimes watching TV is one of my the things to relax myself. That's why. Right? My wife is already get used to my life now. So because when I was in Belgium, it's already helping the people. When I was on holiday and then on Wednesday, and then I always go to the community center to helping people. This kind of thing. That's why. It's okay. And my children are already grow up. It's all right now. they're all working now.
How many children do you have?
I got three, 2 boys, 1 girl, and then my son, but already finished. My son is 30 now. You see, he's quite old now. And then my second son, 26. My daughter 25. And now my daughter is already back to Hong Kong. He stayed there. He got a job there, and then he worked And the second son is here. Oh, my first son is already finished studying, and then he studied the neurology, and then he already finished in there, studying. And he tried to. He went there. He already he's now in Beijing. He's looking for jobs for the research or something like that, because he finished a PhD University of London, and then he tried to get some research study over there. And so they're all away now because only one son, the second son's with us now. That is the life, See, they have their future, they have their professions. How can I stop them? See, that's my.
You must be very proud of them.
Not really. Sometimes you see what I mean. What I mean is that they have their own business, right? When they just my experience that only they tell you anything that you know. Otherwise, if they don't tell you, you don't know nothing about them. Nowadays, just like my second son, when he come back to from the work, and then he go back to his room, very busy with the internet and computing, right? Only when my wife finished the cooking, she said, "Oh, come down and eat, that's dinner time," and then she can show his face downstairs, and after finishing, and then he go upstairs again. You see, that is it. That's it. And he's their own. I think the younger generations that computer is their wives or their girlfriends. They need it. Right? That's true.
That's true.
Even now, my wife also thinks the same problem. Playing games, the working games. It's very busy. That's why. Yeah, that is. I think that is the life here, the lifestyle. Everyone. Anywhere is the same, right? Computing. I think.
Yeah, they've taken over.
Yeah, I think to go for it, and just like my wife, playing the games, the joint games, and then using things, and more busy with. But nowadays, communication is easy, right? Because they can WhatsApp, and then they can anything, they can communicate each other, no problem. Yeah, the lifestyle is changing. Just the old man's watching the TV because I don't addict, to the computer. If you otherwise, everyone has their own computer in the whole house. That's it. Right.
I wanted to ask you a bit more about your experiences in the takeaway business, catering in Belgium. Yeah.
In Belgium? Oh.
Could you tell us a bit more about how you studied business, you did computing, and then you went into catering?
Oh, yes.
Why was that?
Oh, that is I think that's the ideology. I think it's ideal, because people, when I was young, when you have only no any pressures, because you're at your own decision. I try to explore, to the European life, just like you sit down in the cafe in the Champs-Élysées, that's the way we're enjoying life, something like that, at that time. I think nowadays when I think back, I think it's wrong. I already finished my study. My family is, objective. They may think that I cannot finish my study, even at that time. But say because I had my cousin, he got a business in Belgium. In Belgium, he tried to, because I was studying, business administration. We tried to start a business, a kind of, about food stuff, business, in Europe, in London or in Belgium. So that's why I think it's a good stepping stone to try to run our own business at the time, to create my own business. So that's why I went there. In the first few years, will be very quite difficult because you have the mental, stability about the choose when you finish a study and then you go back to the catering service there without any technical know-how, and that's the base. But the thing, in reality, we are now. I think is it has been 17 years wasting now because wrong decision. Because if I get I'm going background, if I go back to Hong Kong or I study, or work, in my own shelter, I think we have better, living. Just like my brothers, told me that, because my brother the same. We all studied in Canada, and he moved back to Hong Kong. His lifestyle, is quite good, quite splendid. And he said, that's why he said, even the last month I went back to Hong Kong, for holiday. He said, I should go back to Hong Kong at that time. We still saying things like that, but because I can't, because it's my ideal, that's why I changed. I would try to, I went to Belgium. So at that time, I don't know, Hong Kong is so developing, so good. But when I moved back to England, I think I'm quite lucky that I can get a job. The job I like to, it's good. Maybe 1 or 2 years already retired now, because he's almost 65. Yeah, I think. Yeah, he's 64 right now, so he's 65. I think about the retirement now. That's it. Yeah, it's quite.
Was there a lot of Chinese community in Belgium when you were there?
Oh no, not much, not many. Even at that Canada at that time it's even less. But nowadays, wow, it's more 100 million, 100,000, 300. I don't know. Now the difference, in the 70s is only I think it's the 70,000, 40,000 in Toronto, and now become 400,000, more than that. In Belgium also, less than in London, less than.
So it was much smaller.
Smaller.
Did you get to know many other Chinese families while you were
in Belgium? Yes, because when I was in Belgium, when I worked with my cousin, and then we also held the kind of Chinese community center there in an association there. I've been helping them for more than 15 years until 1995, and then I was a secretary. I have done a lot of this, organizing the Chinese school and also organizing activities. I was a secretary and also become. Before I left, I was a chair. I was elected as a chair in 1994 or 95. I forgot. Yeah. And then in 97, I moved to London, and then I stopped there. My children are born there. Actually, I'm born in Belgium. Yeah, that's right. So we moved back to because my wife was born in London. Though he's, actually her mother tongue is English. He's a Chinese, but he's the second generation moved here, and then he studied, received education, everything in here. And does he prefer English? Does he prefer English for the children? That's why we decided to move back. That's it.
Do you think there's a difference in attitudes towards the Chinese, or comparing Belgium and Toronto with London? In your experience, was there a difference in the way you?
Oh yes, I think Toronto is a different thing, because that I really during the time I was studying in Toronto, I only meet with those people where and not in the community, not joining the actual community. Only sometimes I'm working in a part-time job in the daytime, and also in a summer job. Those apps I know some of the families that are running the China restaurant business or some other small offices, and then I know the difficulties. Sometimes when they have letters or any correspondence, I have to interpret for them. That's just in Toronto. But in Belgium, it was more difficult because the people, because the language, the Flemish and also the French. I was living in the Flemish part, the German, the German. Then most of the Chinese, they don't know the languages. That's why. So I usually, I have to sometimes, but sometimes when we have to interpret for them, I will help them. Even I have to use English to help them to interpret for the in Belgium, because at the time my Flemish, I don't know if I speak much Flemish, so they're helping them. And they have because maybe I have knowledge, because sometimes they will ask me, to explain it to them, because when I was studying, I know the more logical things, to explain to them. They are more willing to listen to me, especially when I made the business. How to run the business. Now, one minute is sometimes they have different taxation problem or anything, Yeah, it's quite, And then we organize odd activities, just like New Year party for them, and that thing. We ran the halls and everything, and then that's in Belgium. And London is different things. Sometimes you got funding, but Belgium normally don't have the funding. You can't apply for the funding. Not only the only members, they donate. They donate their own, because they're running business. They are more richer. They sometimes they donate their own income, so some money, then to and do the volunteer work at them. And nowadays also, they will do volunteer work. And in London, in council, you have also council funding to for the community centers to be more stable. So there's a different things. But in London also have many community center. I think they are not funded by the local council or government. I think you still have some association or group of people with each other, center association still.
Yeah. Is there anything more you can tell us about the history of Chinese residents in Haringey specifically?
I mean the Chinese.
Like when did they first come here?
Or as far as I know, they are coming from restaurant business. They come to work here because and they come from the Hong Kong, because in Hong Kong when you're living in the new territories, terrorists, and then it's easy to get to get jobs over here. I mean to come over here to work. The elderly people, most of them that come from for the restaurant business, and when they come to work a few years and they settle down, and then they try to the family reunion, things, and then that's it. I think you talk about maybe 40 years ago and 50 years ago. That's the generation. Mainly, they work. There's a restaurant business here as a cook or as a another thing. They started. That's what I have told.
Which restaurant do you think is the oldest around here? Chinese restaurant?
Oh, you mean in Haringey? Mm-hmm. Oh, Haringey. What about the one in Western Avenue? That one? That's the only one, is it? You mean the Chinese shop there?
Have they been there in time?
Right. Yeah, it's been more than 15 years. I think it's more than 15 years. When I was here, it's already here. Yeah. The otherwise small one, I don't know, because that's the only one I know. Yeah. But probably I have to ask some, elder people, maybe the local other people. But as far as I know, that restaurant is quite. Before we have two numbers, and now we have only one. Yeah, it's quite a long time ago.
And do you think the Chinese population in Haringey has enough recognition in terms of the council and how well the community is provided for or recognised locally?
For instance, for the the funding point of view, I think so, because because the council's already the Haringey Chinese Center, and has been funding us, for such a long, Yes, I think it's more than 16 years now because when I was here, it all depends on the Herringay Council fundings also. And then, but yeah, for the local people, maybe, but still some people maybe may not hurt, from us, yeah, because because our Chinese people they don't join. Only some organization maybe join the UN and then they know us, But yeah, I don't really. Yeah, other Chinese. I mean, the other, residents they may not hurt, sometimes. Yeah. But it's better right now because we have a website now because they can find it and we try to make more join UN to them. I hope they can understand us. Yeah.
What do you see for the future of the centre?
The future there. You mean in the long. I mean in the long futures. The centre, I think it still have it's a meeting place for the elder people. For the activity for the older people. The younger generation may be less using the centre services. Only the elderly up to this moment still have the older peoples. It's very difficult to organize, the youngest generation. The only interesting things is the Chinese school. They try to try the younger generation to learn more community languages, Chinese languages. That's it. Yeah. I think, but I don't know because when they're getting older, it depends on our service. I mean, activities or something. Well, for the benefits, it's easy. For the benefits, for the older generation, the younger generation will depend on the housing benefits and also that kind of things. But the older generation will depend on the pension. When they have the pension, and then they all settle down. So the other thing is the help. When they have problem, how to communicate with the GP, and that is the things. But now we also have this kind of service to look after them, to try to do to kind of but sometimes the elderly people because they don't they're getting older, they forget things, So when they're older, they have different medicines to take, They sometimes they forget. They mix up, which one is taking in the morning, which one is taking in the afternoon, become the evening. That we're helping them, some of the people. We try to. That's why we try to provide the service where it's changing needs of the service users. Yeah, I hope they get this.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about or mention?
Oh no, not really. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome then.
For the interview, it was really fascinating.
Yeah, thanks anyway. I hope I can help you on that. Yeah, 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 I can help you on that.